We live in a world where robots are gradually taking over the corporate world, all in the name of they make work easier and faster.
Human beings would be having headache. Instead of them to take only one medicine, they will take 3 because they want quick action.
Even friendly fires can be devastating emotionally and may cause what we may term grammatical and syntactical inexactitude, mixing of tenses, lack of subject-verb agreements, because we're in a hurry to present our case.
Hello viewers, you're welcome to another edition of the Yaz Intellectuals, where we groom great debaters. Now this show is proudly brought to you by Yaz and supported by Capital O2 and Access Bank Solo account. We are currently at the Lawe Open University here in Nungwa, and this is where the debate is going to be held. We'll find out which of the halls are debating today. But before that, my name is Nanaba Amwa. Let's go for a quick break. Welcome back from that break. So in our last edition, we had Dr. Hila Limann winning the debate. And interestingly, we still have them coming on again today. We have Dr. Hila Limann of University of Ghana.
Today, we are more than prepared. Today, we didn't sleep all night and we are here today.
Oh yeah, there are only 2 things you should be expecting right now. Hila Limann Hall and the rest. If you are not winning, then you are not leaving.
You should be expecting nothing but the best. We are going to bring you well-researched points that are going to be laid out and laid down to you. So you should not expect anything less than the best, yes.
You shouldn't be expecting anything less than the best.
For me and my team, expect nothing but the best. Because we are bringing to you the best.
Looking at our previous performance, you should expect nothing but the best.
No one can beat Dr. Hila Limann's war.
My debaters are poised with strength, they are fortified, and they are going to give you guys the best.
We are going to do something which is extraordinary, and there is no hall like Dr. Hila Limann's hall.
We are come to perform more than how we did the last time, and we are in for the win. We are not here to joke.
They are very, very intellectual, they are very intuitive, very creative, very intelligent and knowledgeable. I trust them and I know they will do their best.
And they are going up against Kweggir Aggrey Hall of University of Education, Winneba.
All the way from Cape Coast, and we are not going back as losers, we are going back as winners for today's competition.
We've actually come all the way from Cape Coast, so you can expect nothing but the best.
Nobody will come here to fail or to lose, but as we are here, you should be expecting the best from us.
We are going home as winners, as my colleague said. We haven't come here to slack at all.
So the motion for today is: science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solutions. Science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solutions. We have Dr. Hila Limann speaking for the motion, whilst Kweggir Aggrey Hall of University of Education, Winneba, speaking against the motion. Would like to acknowledge our moderators in our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Professor Goski Alabi. We also have Professor Martin Owusu. Another round of applause for Dr. Apeje. A little note for our debaters today. The timer will ring the bell once. That means that a speaker has 2 more minutes to finish with their assertion. And when the bell goes again for the second time, it means that your time is up and that you must give up speaking more on your topic. All right, shall we now have the principal speaker for the motion taking up the podium?
I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interactions. the world would then have a generation of idiots. It has become appallingly obvious that our science and technology has exceeded our humanity. Dear people, these are not my words, but the words of a great German theoretical physicist, a Nobel Prize winner of science with an IQ level within the range of 160 to 180. I talk of an individual who in his own wisdom was able to predict the unforeseen negativities associated with science, Albert Einstein. The chairperson, panel of judges, a great timekeeper, distinguished guests, fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. Gilbert Kwesiapia is my name. The motion before the House today is that science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solutions. And as a proud student of the University of Ghana, Legon, representing the most reputable Dr. Hila Limann Hall, where intellectual debaters are groomed for the future, I proudly rise to speak with bravado as the principal speaker for the motion. The chairperson, before I proceed, permit me to expatiate on certain keywords in the motion above that will certainly prove relevant in the course of my presentation. According to the International Students Edition of the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, science is the knowledge about the structure and behavior of the natural world based on facts that can be proven. To contribute to something means to add to it, and problems are things that are difficult to deal with. According to the same source, the chairperson, solutions are ways of dealing with difficult situations in the world. Therefore, the motion, when paraphrased, could read that the knowledge about the structure and behavior of the natural and physical world, based on facts that can be proven, has added more to the difficulties of the world, rather than providing ways of dealing with these difficult situations. Now, the chairperson permits me to also make clear to the entire House here the interrelationship between science and technology, so as to erase any future misconception about my argument if I go on to talk about technological advancement in society. Science, once again, is the knowledge about the world, and by doing so, we collect data through a systematic process called the scientific method. And technology, on the other hand, is where we applied scientific findings to create devices in order to make work easier. Therefore, technology is basically the application of science, so it is impossible to separate the two. After setting these parameters, the chairperson, I'd like to state my first point, which is the manufacturing of chemical and biological weapons to cause destruction. I stand to this claim because I believe that it is as a result of science that nations such as the United States of America, United Kingdom, China, and Russia are able to produce nuclear weapons and atomic bombs to cause mass destructions to other countries. Now, the chairperson, these destructions come with enormous problems in the world, such as loss of life and property. And what do we see? We see people forcefully leaving their countries and their homes, fleeing to other countries to seek refuge over there out of fear. This also retards progress and development in the affected countries. Now, the chairperson, I have with me here an article published on www.asiasociety.org titled A Brief History of Nuclear Weapon States. And in this article, it can be seen that the world has faced about 20 explosions of nuclear weapons, which started in 1945 when New Mexico City was bombed as a result of USA launching their first nuclear weapon, to 2006, where North Korea launched their first nuclear weapon. And the chairperson, it is so sad to note that in 1945, the USA dropped a nuclear bomb on on Hiroshima, which is a town in Japan. And the chairperson, it claimed 130,000 lives in Hiroshima. And that didn't end the case. 3 days after, they also launched a bomb on Nagasaki, also in Japan. And the chairperson, trust me, out of the 247,000 people over there, about 75% of them were killed. And the chairperson, 74,000 people were injured. The question is, where did the rest go? They fled from the country. Secondly, the chairperson, I talk of technological advancements which has led to artificial intelligence and the manufacturing of gadgets which are very detrimental to humans. Now sit back and relax and let me explain to you why. Let us take artificial intelligence. We live in a world where robots are gradually taking over the corporate world, all in the name of they make work easier and faster. Trust me, there will be a point in time where robots such as Sophia and Harmony sitting somewhere programmed to be like human beings will prevent you and I from moving about freely in the world. And that is when people will note that the Third World War has really come into existence. My opponent, let us know that fact, because you only live once in life. The chairperson. Students, the chairperson. Okay. I also talk about mobile phones, yes. Now, mobile phones today have made people so busy that they can't even look at their loved ones in person. They can't even meet their loved ones and speak to them face to face. Students of today fail to concentrate on their studies. They lose focus because they are either watching feeds on Instagram or they are on other social media platforms doing God knows what they do best. The chairperson, let's also mind that these mobile phones emit radiation which causes cancer. And mind you, it's not only mobile phones that emit radiation, but also microwaves and other home appliances. Furthermore, the chairperson, science has led to the depletion of the ozone layer. Now, the emission of greenhouse gases such as chlorofluorocarbons and carbon monoxide into the atmosphere by cars, industries, and factories has led to global warming, which is the rise in the average temperature of the Earth. And this leads to climate change, melting of polar ice, rise in sea level, and unnatural precipitation and desertification. Finally, the chairperson, I talk of the extinction of animals due to deforestation. Now, on the quest of science to improve urbanization, improve research findings, and also improve industrialization, it has led to the extinction of animals due to the cutting down of trees. Now, with this, we clear a vast greenery in order to build factories and resorts and other things. Though it may seem enjoyable to humanity, trust me, my opponent, trust me, the chairperson, it is detrimental to Mother Nature. It is causing animals to leave their habitats and going elsewhere where we don't know. It is killing them. The chairperson, let us note that animals contribute very well to nature. Insects, they pollinate our food, the food that you and I eat. But if we are extincting them, we are causing harm to you and I. The chairperson, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, distinguished guests, fellow debaters, ladies and gentlemen. Once a Roman general was asked to bring peace to Rome, and in the course of doing that, he killed each and every one there. But before one soldier died, he said, and I quote, "Solitudinam forcians pacem appellet," unquote, which means to create desolation and call it peace. Therefore, science, which is supposed to solve all the problems in the world, science, which is supposed to solve all the problems in the world, is actually a package of lies, which is causing more and more problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we have the principal speaker from the opposition team?
The chairperson, panel of judges, Aggrey timekeeper, distinguished guests, co-debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. Mensa Bridget is my name. I'm a student of the University of Education, Winneba, and I'm affiliated to Kweggir Aggrey Hall, the best hall in University of Education, Winneba. The motion at hand, and I quote, "Science has contributed more to the world's problem than it has with solution," unquote. The chair, I would like to explain the key word in the motion, which is science. According to Collins Dictionary, science is the systematic study of the nature and behavior of the material and physical universe based on observations, experiments, measurements, and the formulation of laws to describe these facts in general terms. The chair, I would like to give this very marvelous quote by Bill Bryson. He gave this quote in a lecture celebrating 350 years of the Royal Society in honor of scientists with a theme, "Have faith, science can solve our problems," unquote. And this is the quote. "Think of a single problem confronting the world," says Bill Bryson, "in full rhetorical flow: disease, poverty, global warming. If the problem is going to be solved, it is science. Scientists tend to be unappreciated in the world at large. It's true. But you can hardly overstate the importance of the work they do. If anyone ever cures cancer, it will be a guy with a science degree. There is a fractional phrase, then a sheepish smile, or a woman with a science degree who helps solve some problems in the world, unquote. The chair, firstly, I would like to stand on behalf of the whole world and thank scientists for the marvelous job they've been doing for the world. In fact, with my research, at first I didn't like science, but after my research, I came to the conclusion that they've really helped the world. And they have a motto that is to save the world, to save humans, to save lands, to save the water bodies, to save animals. That is what they are in for, my opponents. They don't have any idea to spoil this world. They love the world because that is where they live. They have nowhere to go. The chairperson, it really hurts me to see people blaming science for the problems in this world, whilst we are the same people causing these problems. They've created a lot of things. They've generated a lot of machines, a lot of things to help us. We were the ones who told them that we needed this, we need this. Oh, we are working, we are too tired. Then they will provide the car for us. We will be using it. I want to ask my opponent, would you like to travel from Ghana to the United Kingdom barefooted? I bet you wouldn't even make half the journey. The chair, they've really made a lot. So we shouldn't blame them for something that they are trying to clear from this world. Science has led to the manufacturing of technological appliances. And yes, my opponent mentioned one thing, mobile phones. I want to ask what they used for their research for this debate. Did they actually use only their knowledge? Even if they used their knowledge, I want to tell them something, that actually it was because of science that we got to know we had this knowledge in our brains. We had this knowledge over here for us to use it. The IQs that we've been able to test, it was because of science. If it wasn't for science, we wouldn't have known that there was something called IQ. So please, let's appreciate scientists. They've also manufactured something called the washing machines. I know most of some people, even those in the university these days, they wish they had washing machines in their various halls. But they are sitting here blaming scientists for causing problems, whilst it has helped them solve one problem, washing their clothes. Scientists actually save time. Whilst I am washing my clothes in the washing machine, I can leave there for another thing. I'll be doing two things at the same time. It is so marvelous to have science in this modern world. Scientists, furthermore, has come out with a lot of things, a lot of medicines to help cure our disease. Malaria. Now the number of people who dies from malaria, it has reduced. At first, as a sickle cell carrier like me, I wouldn't be standing here because I would have been dead. But because of scientists, I have a medicine that can keep me going. If I have a headache, I have a medicine that I can take. But human beings would be having headache. Instead of them to take only one medicine, they will take 3 because they want quick action. And they tend to blame science for the problems that they will be having. Somebody will be sick and will go to the hospital. Doctor, please, I'm not feeling well. The doctor will prescribe a medicine and tell him or her, please don't take this food stuff because of this blood group that you are having. The person will go home. The way I like fufu, you don't want me to take this food. The person will take the food, take the medicine, and would have side effects. Then after that, sit and blame science. We are really unfair to the scientists. Science has actually done a lot for this world. They are trying to solve the problems we are creating in this world by ourselves. They leave their comfort zones to their workplaces day and night. They leave the earth to Mars. They leave the earth to other places to check if aliens are coming to this world. And we stand here today and blame them for the problems we are facing. My opponents. I know some of you even want to become doctors. If you know science is not good, then please don't become a doctor. Because you are blaming them at the same time you are going for them. What are you trying to do? Is that a sign of hypocrisy or? Sorry to ask. The chairman, panel of judges, Aggrey timekeeper, distinguished guests, co-debaters, fellow students. There was a quote said by Isaac Asimov, and it goes this way. The saddest thing of life right now is that science gathers knowledge faster than society gathers wisdom. So with this, I would like to conclude that science has contributed much more to our solutions than creating problems in this world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Principal Speaker, from the opposition team. So a quick recap of what our debaters have told us so far. Dr. Hila Limann says that the production of artificial intelligence and gadgets like robots poses a threat to humanity in the future, and this is a problem from science, whilst Aggrey Hall is telling us that science has given us the opportunity to even come to the knowledge about the human IQs, and it has helped Dr. Hila Limann even in their research process for this very debate. Thank you very much. All right, we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll hear from the first supporting speaker for the motion. Welcome back from that break. So we've heard from the principal speakers of both houses. We'll be hearing from the first supporting speakers. Shall we now have the first supporting speaker for the motion?
The chairperson, Professor Martin Owusu, panel members, Professor Goski and Dr. PJ. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Divine Edem Kojode, and I'm the second speaker for the team from Dr. Limann Hall, University of Ghana. Okay, so the motion before us this afternoon is that science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solutions. All right, before I move on to my substantive issues, I would like to make a few rebuttals to what our very glamorous speaker from the opposition side came to say. Her speech was very glamorous, and she enumerated many of the advantages of science, but she quite clearly failed to contextualize this debate and gave a very good conceptual analysis of the motion. The motion reads, science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solutions. The motion doesn't say that science is bad, or that science is evil, or that science has not contributed anything good to the world. We very much do acknowledge the fact. It is a fact, cannot be disputed, that science has really led to a lot of advancements in civilization. That is something nobody can dispute. And for that, we are ever grateful to science. If not for science, as she said, we wouldn't have our washing machine, we wouldn't have our mobile phones to call people from afar, we wouldn't have the aeroplane to transport us from Ghana to America. All that is very brilliant, and we say kudos to her for that. But she very much failed to debate the motion. The motion tells us science has contributed more to the world's problems. Therefore, a critical conceptual analysis of this motion would read that science has added more difficulties to solving the world's problems than it has added solution to tackling the world's problems. That is clearly what this motion reads, and for that, I am here to give you a case. Now, why do we say that science has contributed more to the world's problems? Let us list the world's problems. We are a world where wars, climate change, and unemployment are three of the major issues we face. Unemployment, wars, climate change. What has science done to solve unemployment? Science has not done anything substantial to solve unemployment. Science is rather what? Giving us artificial intelligence, which is what? Threatening to take out people from their employment. It's going to lead to mass unemployment because, as my first speaker clearly came to say, certain robots very soon are going to take away the jobs of doctors and all those people in terms of diagnosing diseases and all that. And we think that is something very bad. More importantly, science has led to what we call the greenhouse effect, and that has caused climate change. Now, the depletion of the ozone layer thus causing the greenhouse effect, which is the warming of the earth due to the emission of chlorofluorocarbons, carbon monoxide, and all those other gases, has led to the greenhouse effect, which is what? Threatening agriculture, because climate has changed, precipitation levels have fallen. Back then when I was a child, I think every April, May, June, almost 3 times in a week, you would have rainfalls. But what do we see of late? We are in May. How many times have we had rainfalls this month? I think about 5 times or 6. That is the cause of climate change. If this place was supposed to be an agricultural zone, what it means is that our agricultural levels would reduce. And we think that instead of science contributing to the fortunes of agriculture, because of the emission of chlorofluorocarbons, carbon monoxide, and all those other toxic gases and fuels and fossils into the atmosphere, the issue of agriculture has been very much bad, and that is something we think is not right. More importantly, we have the wars and killing of innocent lives. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is one of the greatest problems of the world. People in Somalia, people in Libya, people in other places of the world are dying because of wars. The World War II was one of the greatest wars in the history of the world, and thousands, millions of people died. Now, we gave you an example where the US dropped bombs, atomic bombs, in Hiroshima and Nebraska. Now, this was as a result of scientific innovation, and this killed over thousands of people. I think it killed about 130,000 people. And we think at the point where science contributes to killing more people than it has contributed to saving the lives of more people, then we think that science has contributed more to the problems of the world than it has contributed to solving those problems. That is clearly what this debate is about. This debate is not about whether science has good benefits or not. We very much appreciate the fact that it has good benefits, but a conceptual analysis of this debate will tell you that science has contributed more to the problems of the world than it has to contribute to solutions. Thank you very much.
Shall we now have the first supporting speaker against the motion?
The chairperson, panel of judges, Aggrey timekeeper, distinguished guests, co-debaters, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen. The motion at hand this afternoon, and I quote, "Science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solution." Wow, I was very happy when our opponent was speaking. He made mention of science, the world's problem being unemployment, climate change, and wars. I want to ask him, is science a human being? No. It's our very lifestyles that we like misusing. We tend to misuse. Unemployment, there are 1 million of online jobs. I am a network marketer. I sit at home and work. It's thanks to science. A lot of people are into cryptocurrency. It's a science. Those are the employments. You see people going to the university, graduating, and they are accusing the government of not getting employment. Can't you create one for yourself? Climate change. I want to ask my opponent, where he does burn his stereos. We burn a lot of things, we cause a lot of things, and we do a lot of things that goes against us. But we claim it's a science, while science has nothing to do that with it. With war, we are more interested in wars than science. When science creates guns, it is for us to protect ourselves, but we misuse it. We tend to misuse everything science has created. Thank you. The chair. I want to elaborate more on what science has also done. My opponent was talking about the fact that science is killing insects, and these insects destroy our crops. Why do you kill mosquitoes? It's an insect. I wonder why we kill mosquitoes if it is not an insect. Science has helped us manufacture a lot of farming methods like the agroforestry. We use the agroforestry to produce more crops. It helps us lessen our work, our human labor. It also helps us to have more yield. The chairperson, to add to this, science has also improved social and family lives. My opponent was talking about the fact that we cannot face our families. But I want to say this. Though a real hug and a kiss is better than a virtual one, technology through science still brings families closer because in pursuit of our dreams, no matter where it takes us, technology enables us to go back to our roots and be connected to what is really important, which is our family. You may go to America because you want to pursue medicine, but you still have Skype to communicate with your family. I remember calling someone at home, telling the person to do me mobile money because I didn't have money. All is through science and technology. The chair, panel of judges, ladies and gentlemen, fellow debaters, I strongly believe that science has contributed more to our solutions than our problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Kweggir Aggrey Hall. And Dr. Hila Limann is telling us that wars, climate change, unemployment are some of the problems science has failed to provide solutions for. And at the points where science has contributed to killing more people, like in the case of Hiroshima, then science has failed us. Whilst Kweggir Aggrey Hall is telling us that science has brought us all together more than ever. We would like to take the second supporting speaker for the motion.
The problems in our countries all over the world is very enormous and complex in nature. Slapping science on, we know now will solve the problems. Science never solves a problem without creating certainly 10 more. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not my words, but the words of George Bernard Shaw, a proud political activist who stands for culture, that is, the way of life of people. The chairperson, before I proceed with my submission, I would like to acknowledge the indefatigable efforts of my co-debaters, which has rendered my voice nothing but a reminder emphasizing on our take of the motion that science indeed has contributed to the world's problems that it has with solutions. The chairperson, we are not saying that science has not done any good. Of course, we agree that science has done more. But then, let me take you through why we came here. We just came to make one thing clear, that science indeed has contributed to the world's problems, that it has with solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, science has influenced the manufacturing of chemical and biological weapons, which has contributed to numerous wars that has caused the lives of many, and nurtured dreams that has gone down the drain, which was not fully discovered. And we believe this is science at work. Again, we are saying that the technological advancements of artificial intelligence and the manufacturing of other things has rendered us all nothing but problems. The chairperson, we want to say again that science has influenced the extinction of animals, hence deforestation. The chair, we agree that science has done more good, but the problems that science has contributed to our world today is next to the impossible, and that we cannot overlook. Yes, we can't overlook. Deforestation has harmed Mother Nature in diverse ways. Talk of the extinction of animals. Wildlife. Imagine a world without wildlife. I cannot think far. The chairperson. On this note, I would agree with Aristotle Onassis when he said,
Thank you very much. Shall we have Kweggir Aggrey speaking against the motion?
The chairperson, distinguished guests, accurate timekeepers, co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen, Atipo Era Mimi is my name, the second supporting speaker against the motion that science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has to with solutions. The chair in the House, if I heard my opponent correctly, she talked about afforestation. If you believe that science is causing afforestation, then I believe you should stop using your books and really concentrate on using the internet. Become paperless. This would help curb the problem of afforestation. The chair in the House, with the relevant points raised by myself and my opponent, my fellow debaters, that science has helped in the manufacturing of technological appliances, which helps provide comfort and saves time. Also, through science, there has been an advancement in healthcare. Science has also helped in strengthening family ties. Due to we not having much time, other points which we wish to have raised were the fact that science has helped in improving agriculture. Science has also helped in improving education. And finally, science has helped greatly in trade and industry. One thing we should know that we humans create our own problems because we decide to abuse what we have. Science doesn't, we humans tend to abuse the little we have. When we are given medications, because we want to get quicker results, we take about 3 or 4 pills. What do you expect? With all these points raised, I believe you all will rally behind us and say that science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Kweggir Aggrey cut to the chase. They didn't beat about the bush. And we know that our studio audience also have their own opinion on the motion at hand. Whilst our judges put their data together, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll hear from our studio audience. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It is still the Yaz Intellectuals, and we are grooming great debaters. We are working with a theme, fostering national cohesion through dialogue. Fostering national cohesion through dialogue. So the motion before the House is, science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solutions. Science has contributed more to the world's problems than it has with solutions. We would like to hear from our studio audience what they have about this motion, and then we'll wait for our judges while they compile their data.
Good afternoon. My name is Nana Kojo Safo from Limann Hall. You know, we cannot talk about science without talking about technology. And when we say science and technology, I would say it is the systematic application of scientific methods and equipment used to make work easier and faster. Here, science focuses on making the work easier and faster and not the safety of the work. Looking at people who work in the chemical or atomic complexes, it's like they face more problems or dangers as compared to the benefits. So I would say that science is doing more harm than good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In an attempt to make the world belong a better place, in an attempt to solve the world's problems, and in an attempt to globalize the world, human beings have lived beyond our means. Right now, the world lies in desperate times where almost everything is going into extinction. Science has proven that, or research has proven that in the next 30 years, if we don't take care, the global warming or the issue of greenhouse is going to go on the rise, and food is going to be in extinction. Human beings are not going to survive any longer. If we should consider science in such a way, we would see that we wouldn't even have to be living right now because there wouldn't be any purpose for our lives to live. So on that note, I would say that science has caused more problems to humans. Thank you.
It's Irajua Sanson Nkrumah from the Dr. Hila Limann Hall. I would like to say, let us not confuse drug abuse with side effects of drugs. Whether or not a drug has side effects, whether or not you abuse a drug is not dependent on its side effects. You can choose to take paracetamol more than you have been asked to take. Place that aside. Every drug has its own side effect. If you going to buy a drug and you read the leaflet, it will tell you the kind of side effect that you could have from taking the drug. It has nothing to do with the prescription. If you want to talk about side effects, talk about it. If you want to talk about the abuse of drugs like the tramadol, which is now the new wave in town, talk about it. Don't confuse the two. Thank you.
My name is Nada Kwado from Hila Limann Hall. And I'd like to say that whenever we have debates like this, I think we should sit down and actually analyze what the motion is all about. Because the motion stated that science has contributed more to the world's problems than to its solutions. So, as my team has said, it's not really that science has not contributed to the world's solutions, but it has more to its problems than to its solutions. And I heard something about online job. Yes, but some of us, I don't know about others, but speaking for myself, going to school, yes, we go to school. I'll go to university. Our parents will pay fees, go to university for like 5. Some go 4 years, some go as much as 8 years. And you told me that I should go and sit at home and do an online job after 8 years of university. I personally would not be happy about it. And also there was something about mosquitoes biting people. Yes. I'd like to say that my team, I don't know, I'm not supporting, okay, I'm supporting my team obviously, but there was a mention of insects, yes, but when I didn't do science in SHS, but from integrated science, I learned that there's insect pollinated flowers and all, so we know that insects do contribute to our environment, yes. So, as much as we don't really like some of them, they do contribute to our environment. So that's my, opinion and my additions. Thank you.
I am Peter Kofi Kilson Akins of Dr. Hila Limann Hall, University of Ghana. Well, I strongly believe that the argument presented by Dr. Kweggir Aggrey Hall was laced up with sheer misconceptions and, should I say, lack of understanding of the motion. Again, presently, the world looks so scary and blurry that very soon you'd have to travel to the Mars for survival. If you critically look at the agricultural sector, for example, you realize that science and technology has influenced the invention of genetically modified food, which means that in the coming years, we'd have to take all of this in, which is going to be a threatening factor to our existence in this world. Come to think of issues about war. Several and non-denumerable people have been killed as a result of the production of guns and etc. And so when she raised the point concerning guns being produced to protect us, I beg to differ about that. If you take a critical look at the invention of guns like AK-47 and other sophisticated weaponries, you would realize that all of these things are targeted at killing the adversaries of world powers. And so a country wouldn't spend billions of US dollars in producing guns just to protect itself. Yes, it does. But then, in effect, innocent people are killed for that matter. I strongly believe that next time they would have to do better preparations and give us strong logical propositions. Thank you.
And those were the views of our studio audience. Our judges are ready with their data, and we'll be hearing from them very soon. Prof?
All right, so once again, we would like to congratulate both sides for a very intellectually stimulating debate. Okay. I think that I would like my colleagues to give their comments, and then we can proceed to hear who won the day.
Thank you, Professor Chairperson. Limann and Kweggir Aggrey, you both did a very good presentation, especially with the introduction. You did well, except that we couldn't hear your name, the third speaker for Limann. Now, I just want to also ask a few questions which I may not need answers from you. But where did Bernard Shaw say where you quoted? What article was that? Okay, and then Limann Hall, you also were bailed out, all the three. Try to work within time. You see, these things will go against you, so don't do that. Did I hear Nagasaki or some name? Hiroshima and what? One was giving examples of what science has done. And then again, there were a lot of repetitions from both sides. A lot of repetitions, repeating the same points, even when you come. How do we kill mosquitoes? How do we kill them? By using our hands? Don't we have another thing that kills them fast? And then when you were ending too, you ended supporting them. We need to be very conscious of whatever we're saying, okay? I think that apart from also the fact that you were also panting for breath, you were very, very, lady, I'm talking to you. It looks like you were afraid of the people gathered here. Next time, condition yourself very well before you mount the podium. Thank you very much. I think I'm done.
All right. Thank you. Please, I know public speaking, facing even friendly fires can be devastating emotionally and may cause what we may term grammatical and syntactical inexactitude, mixing of tenses, lack of subject-verb agreements, because we're in a hurry to present our case. You know, intellectuals, and this is going to be beamed worldwide, and therefore we want you to present yourselves in the manner in which you deliver the language. So let's check that. The Kweggir Aggrey, first speaker kept saying blame, 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 you blame science. I think that was clarified by the second speaker, who said the issue is science has done a lot, but it's comparative in terms of its achievement or its destructive or negative impact. So I think that let's, when we are debating here, let's be a little more objective. I quite remember that the first speaker was quite, apropos, except that sometimes he lost balance. And then afforestation instead of deforestation. I think that is the, I guess, a slip of the tongue. And The question of human beings misusing. Allow me 1 minute. God created man and woman and placed them in the Garden of Eden and gave them an instruction not to eat the fruit of the forbidden tree. The serpent came and tempted one of them, who ate it because he said, scientifically, God is not telling the truth. When you eat that fruit, your eye shall be open. And truly, when they ate it, they saw that they were naked. And when they were run away to hide on hearing God's footsteps, God asked Adam, where are you? He said, we are hiding here because we are afraid. Afraid of what? Because we were afraid that we were naked. And God asked them, who told you that you were naked? And I think that the main point here is not to condemn science or condemn any other subject, but the impact on the environment, on morality, on our daily lives and so forth. When we compare the two, which one do we think upsets the other? This is, I think, the thrust of the debate. But I thank both of you for both sides, as it were, for the wonderful job you've done. I understand Winneba had to change their topic right here. And with regards to that, I'd like to commend you for a nice job done at a short notice. But that does not change our positions. Very good. So in announcing the results, I'll like to defer to my colleague, Professor Goski. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that we've heard the comments. To give some few suggestions on how to overcome stage fright when it comes to public speaking. First, take a very deep breath, okay? And don't force yourself to speak too fast. When you breathe in and you breathe out, it allows you to settle down emotionally, unconsciously. So that's very important. And always remind yourselves that the worst people can do is not to listen to you, but you have the podium. You are speaking. So it is their choice to listen or not to listen. And that will not change anything. Okay, so remain focused. Also try as much as possible to reduce how you use space fillers and all of that. So I think we heard a number of times people say sorry, 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 or blame. Sometimes I think we use all of those words to fill the spaces, but when we take our time to relax, it helps us. And when we don't speak too fast, remember, we are able to think better. Okay. So with that said, my little comment about the content of the presentation is that I expected to hear more of trending points. For example, much on global warming as an effect of science, but I didn't hear too much of that. Maybe cite examples like North Korea threatening the whole world with the testing that is going on so far. Maybe hear a few things about Sakawa, which is more contextual, bringing the problem to Ghana. Maybe hear things like mobile money and what it is doing for us. So on both sides, we could have had more practical and contextually relevant points than what we had. On that note, I think the first judge scored 19-4, which is Hila Limann, and then 12 against. The second judge scored 25.54 and 16 against. And the third judge scored 22.5 for and 23.5 against. The third judge is myself. The second judge is Dog. And the first judge is Professor Martin Usu. So, with 51.5 votes, we had Aggrey Hall performing very well. And with 67 points, we had Hila Limann Hall once again. Congratulations to both sides.
Congratulations to Hila Limann for winning 2 debates in a row. Hila Limann, congrats. All right, we still want to congratulate Kweggir Aggrey Hall for joining us for this debate. We'll be having our next debate next week, and we hope that you will join us. Thank you very much to our moderators for being with us and for giving us that insightful words. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you same time. Keep watching.